I guess this is part of that closure, to be able to say goodbye to her.
When an 85-year-old grandmother died in a Philadelphia nursing home last New Year's Eve, she was quietly laid to rest in Montgomery County.
But the surprising facts of her case exposed the family's heartbreak and uncovered what some say are cracks in Pennsylvania's guardianship laws. The woman's family says they want to change to spare others the pain that they've gone through.
They spoke exclusively with KYW News Radio's Cherry Gregg.
The head would be right here.
This family is heartbroken.
This is terrible.
After discovering the final resting place of their grandmother, Ruth Pasley.
No name, no nothing. Like, how do we know my grandma is here?
The 85-year-old died New Year's Eve of last year, but they didn't find out until 7 months later.
All I want to know is what happened to my grandmother, when, and why weren't we informed?
A retired teacher's aide, Miss Ruth, lived on her own for years. But when her son died and dementia set in, the court appointed a legal guardian. He moved Miss Ruth to this facility 26 miles away.
People just went through when they could.
They last saw Miss Ruth in December. When she died later that month, the nursing home called the guardian, but no one called the family. Wilson says he asked the guardian where Miss Ruth was buried, but he would not tell them. It took weeks of effort to discover Miss Ruth's body lies here in this grave with 4 strangers.
We got to find a way to get her out of here.
So you mean to tell me the laws have no requirement that a guardian stay in touch with the family?
The statute, as it exists now, requires people to report. But it doesn't require a whole lot beyond that.
While visits and calls to clients and the family are needed for a guardian to do a thorough job, it is not required. Courts are understaffed and guardians earn only $100 a month from poor seniors like Ms. Ruth, so some do a volume business and perform minimum duties. According to court filings, Ms. Ruth's guardian only visited her once in 2.5 years.
There are efforts being made to try to tighten things up.
In 2014, the Pennsylvania Elder Law Task Force released a report with 130 recommendations. One reform is the guardianship tracking system, which launches this year.
It will allow judges to put red flags on guardians who do something wrong.
Other recommendations include mandatory training, a Bill of Rights for seniors and family, and mandatory background checks. Meanwhile,
Grandma was beautiful.
David Wilson must deal with the guilt of leaving the care of his grandma Ruth to a stranger.
It still hurts.
While the family figures out how to say goodbye, they'll take the lesson to heart. Do your part to check in on those you love. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.